here. I talk a little bit more informally, so I hope you don't mind, right? Okay. A couple of ground rules, if I may. This has to be an interactive session. You can question me, you can challenge me, you can debate with me. I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to share my learnings. There's a big difference, right? Uh, Sir very rightly said, a business plan is not rocket science. So what I've done, I've put together a presentation, which I normally do at a lot of institutes, which I've done, where I am going to talk about the key components of a business plan, right? But I'm not going to intimidate you. I'm not going to show you a huge, massive template. The idea is to kind of give you a snapshot, give you a preview as to what are the key components which goes into a business plan and how you can hopefully assimilate together for your venture, for your corporate job, or even for yourself. Very important. So, but before, I know introduction has been done, but just to set the context, a little bit about me. I have about 12 years experience, a little less white hair so far. But in these 12 years, I did not follow a very conventional path, as you can see. I did Eco Honors from Hansraj College, which I'm told is a very reputed college in Delhi University. It was. I learned a lot. But after that, instead of going for a corporate job, sir, I actually went into a startup. I did not know the startup. It did something in events. And I somehow followed my heart and said, let's do it. It was a one-man guy, name is Manoj. In fact, he stays in Ashok Vihar. And he says, you know, Digbijoy, you can either go to a corporate thing and do that, or if you want to follow your heart, because I used to organize a lot of these college events, something similar like this, why don't you join me? I think I see a spark in you. I don't know what he saw in me, but anyway. So I joined him, and interestingly, Manoj was a one-man army, and we were two people, just two people. But obviously, he was far more experienced, and he brought in a lot of connections. And eventually, we started doing a lot of events for corporates, just a two-man army. We had no big brand, no big organization. From small events, we started to do bigger events and bigger events and bigger events. The highlight was that we actually ended up managing in 2004 a state election campaign for a national political party, which means that we were doing the road shows, we were doing the TV campaign, we were doing the print campaign. And I was at that time 22 years old, right? So that was the first company. Then we said, again entrepreneurial, Connaught Place में एक restaurant खोलते हैं. Restaurant क्यों? So has anybody been to Andhra Bhavan in Delhi? You know the concept? Unlimited vegetarian food. So we started a concept. It ran for 2 years only, I'm being honest. 99 rupees, unlimited food, North Indian food. So it was a fixed menu. You come into the restaurant, there's no a la carte choosing a menu, you don't waste time. Fixed menu hai, waiter will come and he'll keep serving you. Only 99 rupees. Manoj got another partner, a film star, Satish Kaushik. You know, you've seen Mr. India? Yes. Calendar? So he was the third partner. How he got him, we don't know. Well, God's grace or what, I don't know. But everything from scratch, from setting up the restaurant, doing the design, doing the marketing, everything we did. We didn't come from hospitality background. We didn't come from hotel experience background. We didn't have any technical skill sets. But we used common sense. We looked at the customer and we ran it. Point I'm trying to make is, sometimes we come with a lot of baggage, that you should have this, you should have that. I always challenge and say, plunge in, use your common sense, and things can happen if you're really committed. Restaurant ran very well. Eventually, why did I leave the restaurant? Because I became the restaurant manager. Funny story. We had got a manager from Lee Meridian. And you know, in Connaught Place, it was Connaught Place, you know the foyer area between the pillar and the shops. There's a good 12-15 feet distance. Obviously, if it's Satish Kaushik's restaurant, then the crowd was there. Now, while the crowd is waiting, I asked the restaurant manager, why is the crowd waiting? He said, well, it's waiting. We don't have space in the restaurant. Logical answer. But I said, those are your customers? Yes, those are. They're going to wait for 1 hour to get a seat in the restaurant. Can we do something while they're waiting out there? Serve them snacks. Give them a taste of the food. Engage with them. He didn't understand. He said, nahi sir, hum to aise hi karte hain. What happened next? I became the restaurant manager. Lesson: customer is your God. Don't take them for granted. And as I go through my journey, like I said, I'm not here to teach. I'm here only to share my experiences. Hopefully I will leave you with some insights, which will, whether you choose to be an entrepreneur, whether you choose to go in a corporate job, wherever you are, hopefully you'll apply some learnings. Next, of course, TIE Delhi. TIE has a partnership here. I joined because they thought I could run events. So that's how I joined. But I said, ठीक है, events हम कर रहे हैं. That's great. It's a passive industrial association. But we have 1,200 plus members, entrepreneurs, SMEs. What can we do? So I started going to members, understanding the business challenges, understanding what they're doing. And I was only 24, 25. Please remember, I was not very old. And when I started doing that, I began to connect the dots. Somebody wanted funding, somebody wanted business, somebody wanted networks, somebody wanted a service provider. I started connecting them together. And that's why I got promoted to associate director. I was the youngest associate director globally across the 64 chapters. The point I'm trying to make again is, you focus on your customer, things will happen. 10 marks is an interesting journey. So there's a charter member of TIE who would come from Boston. Now he was a serial entrepreneur in the US. He had made done a tech venture, got acquired, came back to India and said, let's do something in the education space. And he said, I want to do something in online math help. Okay. The reason I'm telling you this story is not to boast about myself, but hopefully to share learnings. Please understand. So he said, online math help karte hain. This was in 2008. And why don't you join me? So Digbijoy Shukla, no, not real thoughts, smart guy, interesting space, jumped in. Left eye. Jumped in. What did I jump for? Because the guy is good, interesting space. That's it. It was a plan on paper. Takes a lot of guts, right? Jumped in and he said, let's try to teach math online to school kids. Okay, in 2008. So he said, okay. So we built the product. We hired engineering team. We built the product. हमारा ओखला में office था, and we had 3-4 other co-founders. We started working on it. We launched in the market. Remember, it was online math help for school kids. What do you think happened? Do you think it worked in India? Why?
Because there are so many
Institutions? So we're not tuitions or institutions? Okay, so our concept was not to replace schools or education institute, it was to supplement. So why do you think it still didn't work? Yes, ma'am? Many people do not have computer internet. Yes, sir. Okay, 1 point. Very interesting point. Anybody else? Old school thinking. What is old school thinking? Not interactive. Okay. बिल्कुल. और कुछ? Anybody else? Don't want to study? Okay. You guys are 100% right on. The problem was not so much internet penetration, but the problem was the behavior of the user. If you can get a tutor, I don't know what the current, I'm not had a math tutor for a long time, but if you can get a tutor for, let's say, 500 rupees an hour at home, any parent or even the child would prefer that versus, in India, studying it online, right? That was the fundamental premise was wrong. But what saved us? Remember, Rohit had come from US. What is the dynamics over there? So I'll tell you the dynamics. What happened in 2008? Anybody? Recession. What was Obama sir saying? He was saying something very critical to his economy. He was saying, catch up with India, China, improve your education scores, otherwise you'll be left behind. The recession came as a huge shock to the US, right? What did that do for our venture? School hours were getting extended. Parents were concerned about school education. Students were getting concerned, will they have a future? right? So the macro environment was becoming very, very positive. Sorry, right? And remember, our main founder CEO was from the US. So we immediately shifted the market from India to the US. But the product and the content was created out of India. And that is the beauty of the venture. So we actually hired engineers to help us create content. Now, why math? Anybody? Why not science? Why not English? Psychologically difficult. Indians are good in maths, yes. Something else. Think of it from a scalability perspective. Think of it from a use case scenario. Yes, so you're very close. Very simple. The answer to a problem in math is only one answer. English में एक word के बड़े 3-4 different meaning हो जाते हैं. So why I'm giving you all this is because math, if you look at it, what we did, a lot of you have smartphones and iPhones, etc. You have album tracks. Your album is fractions and your track is adding fractions. So what we did, we broke up the entire content into bite size. What does that do? It means that if you learn fractions in school, you can come back home in 3 minutes, refresh the concept of fraction on your phone or on the computer. Bite size. So that's easy to digest and it's assessment. So anyway, we made it a pretty extensive product. So a student from grade 3 to 10 would log into the system. Immediately an assessment would be done. We would know exactly what the score is. You would give the right kind of questions, the practice lessons, video lessons, etc. And that's how slowly the kids' actual learning outcomes improved over time. And we were able to demonstrate that. Remember, you're selling to US parents. It's not a joke. You're selling out of India to a US parent. Education, like here, there also is a top priority. They don't go with any player. So it took us a long time. So in 2008 we started. 2009 we built the product. We were getting no funded. Nothing was happening. We kept sticking. We put in our life savings into it. In 2008 I was getting married. My mother-in-law asked me, "Ye kya kar rahe ho bete?" Real story. Yeah. And these are real things that you challenge with. So I borrowed from here and there, somehow managed to keep some cash flow. Okay, I can go on and on about that story, but the simple lesson is we shifted to the US market. Eventually we started picking up traction. Eventually we started selling to schools. Okay, we raised funding, and in 2013 it got acquired by Amazon.com. Right? So it completed the entire 5 years. So couple of lessons very clear again from that venture. Customer is centric, right? Ability to change your business plan is very important. We thought in 10 marks that we're going with the business plan for India. What happened in 6 months? We completely changed. So this business plan is always an evolving document. It is never a fixed document. You have to be very intuitive as to what the market, what the customer, what are your strengths, and accordingly keep evolving. If we had kept a strict business plan, I don't think I'll be invited here today. I would be in some corporate job. Right? So that's the lesson that I want to take back. Last and not the least, of course, Ennovent. Ennovent is a very interesting venture. So I said, if I can have some moderate success and entrepreneurial success, not a very high level of success, but I thought if I can use my skills to impact low-income people in India, then it's creating social impact and it's enabling to become more sustainable. So what we do is we invest and support in social entrepreneurs. Anybody know what's the meaning of social entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurs? What are entrepreneurs? Yes, sir. Don't feel shy. Just speak your mind. वो तो मैं कॉर्पोरेट जॉब में भी मैं ब्रेन इस्तेमाल करता हूँ. Who brings a new idea to the market? Starts a new business. Takes the risk. Very valid. Starts off on the small scale. Yes. So it's a business. Somebody who starts a new business, a new idea, right? Now, the target community for social entrepreneurs, or let me say the customers or the users, are low income people, but they are not NGOs. They are sustainable models. For example, a rural BPO. What does a rural BPO in Uttarakhand do? It's located in a remote region. The customers are the big BPOs of Delhi, let's say a Genpact or a EXL or whatever. But the work is being done by the people in that rural village. They get a monthly payment and the business is self-sustainable. They're not dependent on grants. That is called a social business. So these are the kind of businesses that we invest in and we support. So that's what we do at Ennovent. But anyway, the point of this was not to boast about myself, but to hopefully draw some lessons and learnings, so to set the context. And now let's get into the real topic. So my perspective, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be more, as you can see from my background, that's why I want to do the background slide. The business plan, I'm going to talk more as an entrepreneur. Okay? So I'm assuming that most of you, who wants to be an entrepreneur here? First tell me that. Only 2 hands? Okay, 20%. Okay. Why not the rest of everybody? I'm not saying entrepreneur today. You can be sometime in the future also. Who does not want to be an entrepreneur? आपने कर लिया सर हाँ वो ठीक है योर एक्सक्यूज सर who does not want to be an entrepreneur? Don't feel shy, just tell me concerns. Yeah. No, but I'm asking, do you want to be an entrepreneur? No. Okay, you're content. Okay. Okay, the people who want to be an entrepreneur, what is the number one, if I was to ask you people, and I'm sure a lot of people who not raise their hands secretly also want to be an entrepreneur. Maybe not today, but ठीक है, and it's absolutely fine. कोई वो नहीं है कि अभी entrepreneur बनना है. Even I don't advise that. So, what is the number one reason which will make sure that your venture will be a success? I'm asking for one reason, not. Sir says financing. What else? Idea. Vision. Returns. Customer. Innovation. Customer relationship. Okay. Risk. Social service. यार मैं ई-कॉमर्स कंपनी कर रहा हूँ सोशल सर्विस कहाँ हो रही है यार तो मैं धंधा बना रहा हूँ अच्छा एनीवे हाँ और बताइए आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ कस्टमर डिमांड वेरी गुड यू आर एन एमबीए बीबीए हाँ बिजनेस लैंग्वेज लग रहा था मुझे वेरी गुड और बताओ व्हाट एल्स some need society okay putting in sorry okay customer centric I'm asking one these are all very valid points but if you were to choose one thing what would it be
addressing the needs of the society.
what making the problem an opportunity okay okay let me give you another hint if you see any example let's say Make My Trip or Naukri or whatever any example of a young generation startup which has scaled to that level what do you think made these leaders or even if I look at my 10 marks example what was the one thing that was driving us because entrepreneurship like ma'am said is very risky it's a very up and down journey there are no guarantees for success you put a lot on stake so what do you think kind of helps entrepreneurs to survive the various things what is that one thing passion yes absolutely but I think sir said it very right which is if you are really passionate about something and you're willing to kind of we say the 3 P's passion perseverance and patience if you have the 3 P's you will definitely create a winning venture but it takes time folks let me give you a message while I'm a big entrepreneur evangelist it's not easy there are a lot of highs and lows there are a lot of challenges your family may not understand what you're doing you're putting a lot on stake But if you survive the whole thing and if you emerge it as a winner, you will truly be a winner. So with that, let me get into the topic before sir says, "Bhai, ab gyan bahut ho gaya, get to the point." ठीक है? So, like I said, I am coming from the perspective of as an entrepreneur looking at a business plan. Now, why I've put this, you will say, why the sources of capital here? Typically, as an entrepreneur, what is the number one reason why you make a business plan? Typically. No, you use the business plan क्योंकि पहले तो हम सब वेंचर करते हैं, शुरू कर देते हैं. बिजनेस प्लान का डंडा कब आता है?
You have a new idea.
When you are pitching to investors, typically is when the डंडा अराइज कि भाई अब बिजनेस प्लान बनाना है. नहीं तो स्टार्ट तो कर दिया हमने, वेंचर तो शुरू हो गया, चाहे रेस्टोरेंट शुरू करो, ई कॉमर्स साइट शुरू करो, कुछ भी आप शुरू करो, मोबाइल ऐप शुरू करो. बट बिजनेस प्लान का डंडा तब आता है जब इन्वेस्टर कहता है, बट व्हाट इज योर बिजनेस प्लान? वेयर आर यू गोइंग टू टेक दिस वेंचर? व्हाट इज द विजन फॉर योर वेंचर? दैट्स व्हेन द बिजनेस प्लान का डंडा आता है. ओके, सो आई हैव लिस्टेड डाउन हियर some sources of capital. So if I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm going to assume most of you, although you didn't raise your hands, will eventually one day want to be entrepreneurs, and I hope someday you will want to be entrepreneurs. What are the various sources of capital? The first source is पहले अपना पैसा डालोगे. क्यों डालोगे? अगर आप मेरे पास, I am the investor today, and you come to me, and if she is not putting money in the venture, do you think I will look at her seriously? Why? Yes, exactly. See, it's like asking money from your dad also. अगर if you don't show seriousness, अगर बच्चा आज अपने पेरेंट्स के पास जाता है कि मुझे उस कॉलेज में जाता है, and if he's not done any homework on the college, if he's not done any research on the college, if he's not convinced his parents have got the grades and done the homework to get in to be eligible to get admission to the college, the father or mother will say no. Similarly with investors. If you today come to me to pitch, and if you've not invested, you've not quit your full-time job, you've not put in some capital, I will not look at you seriously. Whatever I explained today, folks, is not rocket science. It's very common sense. One of the ideas of doing this presentation is to kind of demystify a lot of things. So these are sources of capital. When you start off, you go with self. In 10 marks, we put in our own capital. No investor was looking at us. Why? Because we had nothing. We just had a business plan. अगर मैं आपके बिजनेस प्लान के साथ आता हूँ, however good I am and however good credentials I have, it's very unlikely that you'll fund me, right? So then, what you have to do, you have to build something. You have to build a prototype. You have to build a pilot. For that, you need money. So you look at family, friends, and fools. किसको बेवकूफ बना सकते हो पैसा लेने के लिए? Then you go to maybe competitions. There are a lot of competitions, right? If you make a business plan today, TAI has a lot of tie-ups with a lot of competitions. You can win a substantial amount of money, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs. That money you can use to start or develop a prototype. Show some proof of concept, right? And then you go to seed angel, venture capital, which I'll talk a little bit about also. This is the typical funding landscape for an entrepreneurial venture. I don't want to make it complex because I want to get straight to the topic now. But when you're in the idea opportunity, it's really the competitions, it's your self money, the 3 F's, fools, family, friends, where you can hope to get some capital to start articulating your business plan and putting it into actualization, which means building a prototype, starting a demo, doing whatever it is. As you move, you get other forms of funding, whether it's angel investors. What are angel investors? Anybody?
Those who invest money and if business don't went good, so they won't take money back. They invested.
How do they invest money? मतलब वो लोन देते हैं, क्या करते हैं वो?
Initially, they invest in the form of debt capital. Later on, it will be converted into the equity.
Okay, so you're talking about convertible debt actually. That's one form, even angels, but today a lot of angels also do direct equity into the company. So if you have a venture, they may take 20% stake in your venture for whatever the valuation is. Supposing your valuation is 100 rupees, they take 20 rupees stake. So what is a profit share? What is the share of the company? What will be? 20 upon 120, whatever that figure is, 10%, is it? No, 20 upon 120, right? Because 100 is the value of the company. They're putting in, let's say, 20 rupees, right? So 20 upon 120 will be the share that they will get right now in your venture.
16.6.
16 point, thank you, sir.